For generations, the British royal family has been a fortress of secrets. Behind the golden gates of Buckingham Palace lie untold stories of loyalty, betrayal, and silent regret. But now, after decades of silence, Princess Anne has finally spoken, revealing the king's final wish. At 74, the Princess Royal, known for her discipline and unwavering loyalty, has chosen to unveil what her brother, King Charles, confided to her in his most vulnerable moment. Those close to the family say Anne's revelation has left both Prince William and Prince Harry in shock. It was not just a private confession, but something that could change how the world sees the monarchy. Throughout her life, Anne has been the quiet guardian of royal dignity, the one who never wavered, never spoke out of turn. Yet even she could no longer carry the weight of the king's last request, a wish that might redefine his legacy forever. What did Charles ask of her? Was it about reconciling his two sons after years of division, or a message tied to the late Princess Diana, whose shadow still looms over the crown? As whispers spread through palace corridors, one thing is clear: Anne's words were not meant to stir scandal, but to honor a truth the king could not leave unspoken. Tonight, we uncover the final wish that King Charles entrusted to his sister, a secret that could alter the destiny of the royal family and bring to light the emotion, guilt, and redemption that the monarchy has tried to keep hidden for far too long. King Charles and Anne relationship timeline. If life in the royal family has taught us anything, it's that trust is rare and carrying a royal secret is never easy. For Princess Anne, that weight has become heavier than ever. With King Charles's health raising growing concern, she has been asked to take on one of his most personal and emotional duties, delivering his final wish. But the main question here is this: why Anne? Why not one of his sons or even Queen Camilla? To understand that, we need to step back and look at the relationship between Charles and Anne, a bond shaped by decades of loyalty and shared duty. So stay with us, because once you hear this, the king's decision begins to make perfect sense. King Charles was born on November 14th, 1948. Princess Anne followed not long after on August 15th, 1950, just 21 months apart from her brother. That small gap made them each other's first real companions in a world where very few could understand what it meant to grow up royal. While the world saw them as the picture-perfect children of Queen Elizabeth II and Prince Philip, behind palace doors, they were simply brother and sister navigating a childhood filled with rules, nannies, and endless attention. When their parents were away, which was often due to royal tours around the world, Charles and Anne spent most of their time together. They played, studied, and explored the palace grounds side by side. They didn't have the freedom most children enjoyed, but they had each other, and that made the strange, structured life of royalty a little easier to bear. Those early years formed the foundation of a lifelong connection. King Charles was sensitive and thoughtful, a boy who loved art, nature, and music. Anne was confident, direct, and unshakably practical. Where he hesitated, she acted. Where he doubted himself, she gave him courage. Their differences didn't pull them apart. They completed each other. One of the strongest signs of that came during Charles's years at Gordonstoun, a strict Scottish boarding school his father insisted he attend. Charles famously hated it, describing it as culottes and kilts. The harsh weather, tough discipline, and isolation made him miserable. And through that, Anne was one of the few people he confided in. She listened without judgment and defended him from teasing within royal circles. That kind of loyalty was rare, even in a family that valued duty above all. As adults, that bond continued through moments of deep personal trial. In the 1980s and 1990s, when Charles's troubled marriage to Princess Diana made headlines around the world. It is. But I've had a small run out to it all in the last 6 months. Anne didn't take sides or add fuel to the media fire. She avoided interviews, refused gossip, and offered quiet comfort to her brother. She stood by him when his public image was at its lowest, not as a royal but as a sister who knew the weight he carried. Even more recently, after the death of their parents, Anne and Charles were often seen together at key events like the annual King's Foundation Awards ceremony. They were also seen walking side by side during Queen Elizabeth's funeral procession, exchanging private words at memorial services. In those emotional moments, you could see their shared grief, but also their comfort in having each other close by. But besides how close they are, Princess Anne has something more, and that is a reputation for bringing order to the royal family whenever things start to fall apart. Princess Anne has been called the family's backbone, a role she earned through decades of hard work and dedication. You see, Anne has always been one of the hardest working members of the monarchy. She took her first royal tour at just 19, joining her parents on a months-long trip to Australia and New Zealand. It wasn't just a family trip, it was the moment she stepped into public duty, showing early on that she could handle the pressures of royal life. That same year in 1970, Anne became the president of Save the Children UK. She didn't just lend her name, she worked, she traveled, spoke, and visited some of the world's poorest communities. For nearly 50 years, she used her position to push for real change, making her one of the most respected royals internationally. Queen Elizabeth saw this as more than charity work. To her, Anne's tireless effort was also diplomacy, a way to show the world that the crown still cared, that it had a human face. And in times when other royals faced scandals or criticism, Anne's record remained spotless. She didn't chase attention or glamour. She simply showed up and did the job. When the Queen passed away in 2022, that same sense of duty carried over to Charles's reign. Anne didn't hesitate. She stepped up. At King Charles's coronation in May 2023, Anne served as the gold stick in waiting, a role that dates back to the 1400s. She rode on horseback leading 6,000 members of the armed forces as they escorted her brother through London. It was both a symbolic and personal moment, a sign that Charles trusted no one more than Anne to stand by his side on the most important day of his life. Later that year, Parliament officially recognized that trust when Anne was added as a Counselor of State, meaning she was allowed to perform royal duties if the king is unable to. Traditionally, that position goes to the monarch's spouse and the next four adults in the line of succession, but Charles made sure his sister was included, showing how deeply he relies on her judgment, and that trust has only deepened as his health has declined. Since King Charles's cancer diagnosis in 2024, Anne has quietly stepped in to represent him at countless events. When the king was forced to cancel engagements for treatment, she filled the gap, attending ceremonies, honoring public commitments, and maintaining the crown's visibility. Beyond her visible duties, Princess Anne plays a crucial role behind palace walls. When tensions rise, particularly between her nephews, Prince William and Prince Harry, she's often the voice of reason. People close to the family say that Princess Anne is one of the few who can speak calmly to both William and Harry without taking sides. She respects William's sense of duty, but she also understands Harry's desire for independence. Because she has earned respect across the family and the public, she is among the very few who can help keep conversations civil when old wounds and pride threaten to erupt. That's not just anecdotal. Public polls back it up. According to the research group, Princess Anne is one of the most positively viewed senior members of the royal family, with about 70% of Britons expressing a favorable opinion of her. In fact, she consistently ranks third in popularity, just behind William and his wife, Catherine, Princess of Wales. This strong public favorability isn't just about likability. It reflects something deeper: trust. Few royals enjoy this level of positive perception while staying largely out of tabloid drama. For Anne, the high rating has reinforced her role as the steady hand in a family often buffeted by controversy and change. In real terms, when Queen Elizabeth II was nearing the end of her reign, Anne quietly stepped in to help keep the machinery running. When senior royals were ill or stepping back, Anne filled the gaps. For example, in 2024, she carried out more than 217 public engagements, the most by any working senior royal that year. Despite suffering a concussion after a riding accident, this kind of reliability has not gone unnoticed. Her public workload and popularity show she doesn't just have a reassuring presence, she delivers results. That's why when her brother, King Charles III, began to think about what would happen when he could no longer carry out his duties, It wasn't surprising that he turned to her, because his trust in her isn't just about being his sister, it's about belief. Belief that she will handle his final, most sensitive request with the same calm, loyalty, and strength she's shown her whole life. So, what exactly did King Charles ask her to do? Let's dive into it. King Charles' final wish. According to reports, King Charles's final wish is centered on his wife, Queen Camilla, and the future of his two sons, Prince William and Prince Harry. As his health continues to worsen, the king has made several private decisions that reveal not just his love and loyalty, but also his fears for what will happen after he is gone. One of the most important decisions he has made is what will happen to Camilla. After his death, she will be known as Queen Dowager. This title holds great importance in royal tradition because it means she will continue to be treated with the respect and honors of a queen even after the king's passing. For Charles, this isn't just about titles. It's about ensuring that Camilla remains a protected and respected part of the royal family, no matter what happens next. The king's plan makes it clear. Camilla is to remain central to the royal household, her position untouched by politics or public opinion. In simple terms, Charles wants to make sure she will never be sidelined, criticized, or forced into the shadows the way other royal widows once were. By giving her this title, he guarantees she will keep her place in royal life with full access to the privileges, protection, and prestige that come with it. King Charles has backed up his intentions with actions. Recently, he reportedly purchased a $3.8 million property next to Queen Camilla's beloved Wiltshire estate, allegedly as a private sanctuary for her, should she ever be sidelined. But even as Charles works to secure her future, Camilla herself has been making quiet moves behind the scenes. Insiders reveal that the Queen has been carefully preparing for life after Charles, taking deliberate steps to ensure she is protected and independent no matter what happens. For example, Camilla has expanded her influence beyond just private estates. In May 2025, she unveiled the foundation stone for the $13 million sacristy at Westminster Abbey, where she is patron of the project. This high-profile role highlights her growing presence in significant national projects and demonstrates her intent to remain a central figure within the royal institution. Recently, she is also said to be exploring the purchase of adjoining lands and smaller cottages around her Wiltshire estate, reinforcing her base in the region. Combined, these moves by both Charles and Camilla reveal a two-part strategy: the king's formal pledge to protect Camilla's status after his reign ends, and Camilla's own proactive steps to remain influential. But the king's final wish goes beyond his marriage. It touches the deepest and most fragile part of his heart, his two sons. From man's revelation, Charles has made it known that he wants William and Harry to put aside their differences and rebuild their relationship. The distance between them has been one of his greatest sorrows, and he sees their unity as vital to the stability of the monarchy itself. For him, this is not only a personal dream, it's a matter of national importance. He knows that if his sons continue to fight, it could weaken the crown's image and divide public opinion even more. A united family means a stronger monarchy, a royal house that can stand firm through changing times. But behind the king's hope for peace lies a complicated reality. Palace sources suggest there may be a private understanding, almost a deal that determines what will happen to Harry's royal role after the king's death. Curious to find out what the deal is all about? Don't go anywhere. For years, tensions between William and Harry have been difficult to ignore. The younger prince's memoir, called Spare, and interviews, cut deep into the family's wounds. And now, according to insiders, King Charles's final wish gives William full authority over Harry's future in the royal family. Reports suggest that Charles's plan allows William to either welcome Harry back under strict conditions or remove him completely from royal duties. But there's a catch. In exchange for this power, William must promise to protect Camilla's position after the king's death. It's a delicate balance, one that leaves a brother's fate at the hands of a stepmother's safety. Royal observers describe it as Charles's way of ensuring both loyalty and order. By giving William control, he guarantees that the future of the family will rest in the hands of the next monarch. However, this arrangement isn't without tension. While William has learned to work alongside Camilla in public, those close to him say he has never truly accepted her. The pain of what happened between his parents, Charles and Diana, runs deep. Many believe he still carries resentment toward Camilla's role in that chapter of his life. Behind palace walls, William reportedly keeps his distance from her whenever possible, choosing duty over affection. Meanwhile, Harry's situation grows more uncertain by the day. Since his departure from royal life in 2020, he has openly criticized the institution and its members. From his claims of racism to his public interviews, every revelation has widened the gap between him and his family. William, known for his sense of discipline and tradition, is said to view these actions as unforgivable. Advisors close to him believe cutting off Harry's remaining privileges could bring stability back to the royal image. One senior aide reportedly said, William feels that Harry has already chosen his path. While King Charles has avoided stripping Harry and Meghan of their titles during his lifetime, there's growing belief that William could make that change once he becomes king. Some insiders say plans are already being discussed, from cutting off all financial support to permanently removing access to Frogmore Cottage. But not all of Charles's wishes revolve around power and titles. Deep down, one of his most personal desires is far simpler: to see his grandchildren, Archie and Lilibet. According to reports, the king has repeatedly asked to spend time with them before his condition worsens. Yet, Meghan Markle is said to have denied the request, citing her desire to protect the children from what she describes as a toxic environment. Since leaving the royal family, Meghan has made it clear she wants to raise her children away from the palace's drama and the harsh British media. Friends close to the Duchess say this decision comes from her painful experiences during her time in the United Kingdom. The criticism, the isolation, and the pressure. Still, her refusal to let Charles meet his grandchildren has caused deep emotional pain. Insiders say the king has sent several letters to the Sussexes, none of which received a reply. The rejection has caused public debate, with many calling it heartless to deny a dying grandfather the chance to see his grandchildren. Even those close to Harry reportedly questioned the decision, saying he feels torn between his wife's wishes and his father's failing health. Adding to the tension are reports of financial strain on the Sussexes' side. Their major deals, such as the Spotify partnership and their Netflix projects, have not delivered the success they hoped for. The cost of their California lifestyle without royal funding has added pressure to their relationship. Sources claim that the emotional distance between them has grown as they navigate fame, finances, and family conflict. For Meghan, protecting her children means keeping them far away from the royal institution. For Charles, it means one last heartbreak. The family he led for decades now split between two continents, two lives, and two very different ideas of loyalty. But above all, reports suggest that King Charles's greatest concern isn't for himself, his wife, or even his sons. It's for the future of the monarchy. According to what Princess Anne revealed, the king's final wish is simple but deeply meaningful: for everything to stay steady. Those few words carry great weight within royal circles. Charles has asked the entire family to rally behind Prince William as the next leader of the crown, ensuring unity and continuity even after he is gone. But now that King Charles's final wish has been spoken, the outcome is no longer in his hands. It rests with those he trusted most to carry it out. Whether his hopes for peace and stability will truly hold depends on how his family chooses to honor his words. The next steps could either strengthen the monarchy or expose the cracks within it. Stay with us, because what comes next might just change the way you see the royal family forever. William and Kate, future in the monarchy. Now that King Charles's final wish has been revealed, one thing is clear. That is the fact that he is thinking far ahead, planning for a monarchy that will remain stable long after he is gone. And at the heart of that plan stand Prince William and Princess Catherine. They are no longer just the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge or the next in line to the throne. They are the face of a new royal era, one that blends tradition, service, and a more modern touch. Though King Charles remains deeply committed to his duties, William has begun to quietly step up to certain responsibilities. This transition is part of a larger, carefully managed plan, often referred to as Operation Menai Bridge, a framework that prepares the crown for a smooth handover when the time comes. It doesn't mean abdication, it means preparation. Earlier this year, we asked you 5 big questions about raising our under fives. We wanted to hear what you think about the importance of the earliest years of our children. King Charles knows that the monarchy's survival depends on the next generation being ready, and William and Kate have already proven that they are. The challenges facing children in the UK today can often feel overwhelming. Both William and I have seen that many young people are struggling to cope with the impact of bullying. Prince William's future as king is not just about birthright, it's about years of preparation and experience. His journey through the military shaped him into the leader he is today. After completing his training at the Royal Military Academy Sandhurst in 2006, William served in the British Army, the Royal Navy, and the Royal Air Force. He worked as a search and rescue pilot and later as an air ambulance pilot, taking part in real missions where lives were at stake. One of his former commanders once said that William fitted in just like any other pilot, a rare compliment for someone born into royalty. It showed that he earned his place not through privilege, but through hard work and respect. These years taught him teamwork, calm under pressure, and the importance of leading by example, qualities that now define his approach to royal duty. William has also worked to make the monarchy feel more human and approachable. In 2016, he joined Kate and Harry to launch Heads Together, a campaign encouraging open conversations about mental health. It wasn't just a one-off initiative. It shifted how the public viewed mental health and made space for people to talk about their struggles without shame. William himself spoke about how losing his mother affected him, helping to break down the old royal rule of keeping emotions hidden. His openness didn't stop there. In 2019, when asked if he would support his children if any of them were gay, William simply said yes, a response that was widely praised and marked a major shift in royal attitudes. Like his late mother, Princess Diana, William has visited HIV clinics and supported causes that earlier royals rarely touched. These moments showed he is willing to build on tradition but not be trapped by it. And when duty calls, William delivers. In 2022, he carried out over 200 official engagements, more than any other senior royal except Princess Anne. When King Charles was diagnosed with cancer in early 2024, William immediately took on additional responsibilities. He visited hospitals, opened a new cancer center at the Royal Marsden Hospital, a place closely linked to his mother, and represented the king at major events. His approach to the media also sets him apart. Public support reflects this. A major poll in 2023 found that 67% of Britons had a positive view of William, second only to Queen Elizabeth II. In contrast, only 33% said the same about King Charles. After the Queen's passing, many even said they would rather see William take the throne immediately. His quiet strength during moments of grief, like walking behind the Queen's coffin, just as he did behind Diana's, reminded people that he represents continuity through hardship. Kate, on the other hand, has transformed from the commoner who married a prince into one of the monarchy's most influential figures. Once known mainly for her elegance and fashion sense, she now commands respect for her work and her voice. Kate's dedication to early childhood development led to the creation of the Royal Foundation Center for Early Childhood, which she continues to expand. Her focus on the first 5 years of life reflects a deeper understanding of how social issues affect future generations, a perspective that connects the monarchy to everyday families. At public events, Kate's calm presence offers reassurance during times of change. Her speech at the reopening of the National Portrait Gallery in 2023, where she spoke about the power of art and community, was described by royal commentators as one of her most confident and heartfelt moments. She's emerging not just as William's partner, but as a future queen in her own right, thoughtful, respected, and in touch with modern society. Their partnership is the monarchy's greatest strength. Together, William and Kate represent a balance between royal tradition and the values of a new generation. During the 85th anniversary of the D-Day landings in Normandy, William and Catherine took a lead role in honoring veterans, shaking hands, sharing personal words, and showing humility. Observers called it a turning point, the moment he truly stepped into the role of a global statesman. Their family life also sets them apart. After more than 13 years of marriage, William and Kate's relationship remains steady and scandal-free, something rare in royal history. They prioritize raising their children, often seen taking them to school or attending local events together. During the 2020 pandemic, they joined millions in clapping for healthcare workers, showing that even from royal palaces, empathy and unity mattered. That image of stability has greatly strengthened public trust. As royal biographer Penny Junor once remarked, William and Kate have become the most dependable force within the monarchy. Their steady partnership and quiet dedication have helped shape a new image of the royal family, one built on service, compassion, and restraint. In an age where the monarchy has often faced public doubt, their calm unity and sense of purpose have made them the very foundation on which the future of the crown now rests. William's leadership style is deliberate. He chooses his battles wisely, avoids political debates, and focuses on causes that unite rather than divide. He respects the constitutional rule that keeps the monarchy neutral, yet he also understands when to adapt. During his 2022 Caribbean tour, William acknowledged the region's right to decide its future independently, a statement that marked a new tone of humility and respect from the royal family. And this is where it gets interesting. His Earthshot Prize, launched in 2020, shows how he's thinking beyond Britain. Each year, it awards $1 million to projects aimed at fighting climate change, proving that the next king will not just inherit a throne, but a mission. When he met President Biden in Boston and later traveled to Singapore to celebrate global finalists, William wasn't just representing his family. He was representing a forward-looking monarchy. Whether leading the Trooping the Color Parade or speaking about the environment, William balances the weight of tradition with a modern sense of responsibility. He dresses less formally at youth events, often introducing himself simply as William, breaking down barriers between royals and the public. Through it all, one thing remains constant: steadiness. He doesn't react impulsively. He listens, learns, and leads quietly, much like his grandmother, Queen Elizabeth II. The rise of William and Kate marks more than just the next phase of royal succession. It signals the beginning of a new royal era, one built on stability, service, and sincerity. King Charles's vision of a steady future for the monarchy is already taking shape through them. The crown's future isn't waiting for tomorrow. It's unfolding today through every decision they make, every cause they support, and every moment they share with the people. But what about Prince Harry? Where does he fit into the king's new vision for the royal family? Let's find out. What does the future hold for Prince Harry? As Prince William steps into a new era of leadership, the other side of the royal story belongs to his younger brother, Prince Harry. Once known as the charming, mischievous prince who brought laughter to the royal family, Harry's life has become one of the most complicated and emotional royal sagas of modern times. From the beginning, Harry was a favorite among the public. His warmth, humor, and sense of adventure made him the relatable royal, the one people could imagine having a drink or a chat with. His years in the military showed his courage and commitment. Serving in Afghanistan and later founding the Invictus Games for wounded veterans earned him genuine respect. The Games became one of his proudest achievements, not as a royal duty, but as a heartfelt mission born from his own pain and compassion. Those who worked with him often said the project gave him a new sense of purpose, a way to transform personal loss into service for others. Yet behind his charisma, Harry wrestled with deep struggles. The constant comparison to his brother, the unrelenting media pressure, and the trauma of losing his mother at such a young age weighed heavily. While William was seen as the disciplined heir, Harry became the emotional, unpredictable spare, a role that left him feeling overshadowed. When Meghan Markle entered his life, everything changed. The couple's 2018 wedding was celebrated as a new chapter for the monarchy. For a time, they seemed unstoppable, representing a refreshed and global royal image. But that hope quickly dimmed. Inside the palace, tensions rose. Rumors of strained relationships with staff and with William and Kate began circulating. The press coverage turned hostile, and Meghan in particular became a constant target of negative attention. Feeling isolated and unprotected, the couple made a decision that stunned the world to step back from royal life. In early 2020, their announcement to carve out a progressive new role shook the foundations of the royal family. Their move to California, dubbed Megxit, was not just a change of address, it was a break from centuries of royal tradition. For the first time in modern history, a senior royal had chosen independence over duty. Since then, Harry and Meghan have tried to build their own empire, launching the Archewell Foundation, signing multi-million-dollar media deals, and speaking publicly about their experiences within the firm. Their Oprah Winfrey interview revealed claims of racism and emotional neglect, drawing global attention, but also dividing public opinion. In 2023, the release of Harry's memoir, Spare Swing, deepened the rift further. In its pages, he opened up about his grief, his anger, and his fractured relationship with his family. He spoke candidly about his father and brother and even criticized Queen Camilla, accusing her of using the press to rehabilitate her image. For King Charles, those revelations were painful. For William, they were unforgivable. What began as brotherly tension had now become a lasting divide. Even so, not everything in Harry's story is anger and loss. His passion for humanitarian work continues to shine through. The Invictus Games have grown stronger each year, offering a global platform for veterans' recovery. Harry's public advocacy for mental health awareness has helped countless people speak openly about depression and trauma. Prince Harry has often said that his mother's legacy guides everything he does, and that in many ways he's still fighting for the compassion and honesty she represented. Still, the gap between Harry and the royal family remains wide. When King Charles was diagnosed with cancer, many hoped it would bring the family closer together. Harry made a brief visit to London, but reports suggested the reunion was short and strained. Meghan did not accompany him, citing privacy and the need to protect their children, Archie and Lily. For the king, who has expressed a wish to see his grandchildren, that distance has been heartbreaking. Publicly, Harry insists he wants peace, but privately, insiders say he feels caught between two worlds. The life he left behind and the new one he's still trying to build, financial pressures, fading media contracts, and persistent scrutiny have made the California dream more challenging than expected. Still, he continues to focus on causes close to his heart, including youth empowerment and environmental protection. Within the royal circle, there are mixed feelings about Harry's future. Some believe there could be room for partial reconciliation, especially with King Charles's health in question. Others say the trust between Harry and William has been damaged beyond repair. William, who has quietly taken on more royal duties, reportedly sees his brother's public criticism as a betrayal of the family and the crown itself. And yet, history has a way of softening divides. Royal watchers note that family crises, whether it is illness, transition, or loss, all of these often have a way of bringing estranged relatives together. Whether that will happen for Harry and William remains uncertain. What's clear, however, is that Harry's journey from soldier to prince to outspoken reformer has changed the monarchy forever. He has made the royal family confront its traditions, its image, and its future in ways few others have dared. Right now, the journey hasn't always been easy, but it's been inspiring. We can't wait to see what comes next for Harry and Meghan and how this final wish will unfold in the lives of the two princes because they remain the center of the king's desires.